Got a PS5 here today with some disk issues. The customer said that it's not reading disks, and I was not able to reproduce that symptom. It seems to be reading my disk okay, but I think maybe they've got an issue with the specific disk. But anyways, it doesn't really matter too much because we've also got an eject problem on this thing. So as you can see, it's loading up the game that I put in, but when I hit the eject button, we just hear some grinding noises which aren't really picking up on the microphone, but the disc never comes out. Now you can attempt to reset the gears inside of the disk drive, but all things considered, for what it costs just to replace the disk drive itself, I recommend against that unless you have a lot of spare time on your hands. So what we're going to do here is just go ahead and replace the disk drive, and in order to do that, we have to keep the daughter board that's installed with this one, and we'll just go through that process right now and get this thing hopefully back to working normal again. Now if you get a disc caught inside of your PlayStation, I'm going to turn the power off here, and you need to get it out, there is a manual release on the inside, so we just need to take off the top panel, actually bottom panel. So on the panel where the disk drive is located, this corner right over here, if you just kind of lift up a little bit and pull it diagonally, it'll slide right out just like that. And there is usually a little cover here over this, so it looks like someone has already had to do this once before. But if you take a Phillips driver and go down inside here, after a certain point, there we go, okay. And there's our disk, but we want this thing to work. So in order to get to the disk drive, we're going to take off this little vent cover here. If you pull this kind of evenly in the corner, you can get it out without breaking it. There's a tab here and here. They're just going to slide out just like that. So we're going to have our expansion drive cover here. This is also going to be a Phillips drive. Phillips screw comes off. Lift that up. I would just leave it in there like that, or you can take it out either way. Set that aside. And then we're going to have to peel this off, the cover for the fan connector. And we're also going to have a warranty sticker up here, which we're not too worried about at this point. So I'm just going to peel this back far enough that we can get our screwdriver inside to remove this screw. And then the rest of them around the perimeter. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Small one here. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 screws from the outer perimeter. And then we've got these 4 here. You want to keep these in order. These are different sizes. Actually, these 2 are compatible, but around the outside, there's a number of different types of screws, so you want to make sure you keep those in order. First thing I'm going to do is disconnect the fan. So you want to be careful with this. If you wiggle it around too much, you can actually cause damage to the connector on the board. So you want to try to grip this white thing down on the inside if you can, but otherwise, if you get a pretty good grip on the wires and just pull straight up, it should pop out. Just don't do a lot of wiggling. That's how they get broken. And we'll take out these 4 here. Alright, and now we can take off the shroud and remove the fan itself. Then we've got our outer perimeter screws that need to come out. Now from here, we can just lift up and remove this panel. Make sure you keep an eye on this little dust cover here. It likes to fall out, a little gray piece. And now we can access our disk drive. I'm just going to go ahead and unplug everything here. And if we disconnect this cable here, again, just grab it and lift straight up. Over here, you push down on the metal tab, and this will slide out, just like that. And there we have our disk drive. Now, so we're just going to have everything ready to go. Take the old drive here on the left, new drive here on the right. Make sure you have the right model number. They have different drives for different versions of the PS5. And if you take it out of the box, you can kind of get an idea of what this is going to look like when it goes inside. So that's our new piece. Now to get this apart, we are going to have screws around the perimeter. One here, 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 and here. Guess that's not really getting on camera, is it? Okay. So we had one here, here, here. Yeah, I'll just hold this up for the rest of these. And we're going to take out these 4 screws. All right. And so now we've got some cables up here that need to come out. One of them is going to go behind this little daughter board, and that's the only reason we have to kind of take it out. So what I'm going to do is unplug this cable, so you can just grab the blue part here. Just lift this straight out. You might want to hold the board down while you do it. This one over here on the right hand side, just lift that one straight out as well. We're also going to unplug this power cable here, so just lift that one straight up. Again, if you have to, hold the board down. And then I'm going to flip it over this way, because we've got 2 more screws we need to take out in order to get underneath the daughter board. Unfortunately, all these black screws are the same size. This daughter board is actually married to the main motherboard on the console. Why? I don't know. But that's how they do it. So we're going to lift up this little gate, slide this cable out like that, and then we're going to swap our drives over, get the new one right over here, and just do the reverse of the removal process. So we'll slide this in. Make sure it's fully seated inside the connector before you flip down the gate. Then we're going to attach this back onto this bottom panel. Flip our drive over. And now we connect our last 3 cables. So we've got right over here. Oh, they didn't twist it. Okay. So if you pay attention to this, you'll notice that basically the blue part ends up being towards the top. So you're going to have to twist that cable a little bit in order to make that happen, because these come from the factory kind of straightened, basically. So we're just going to twist it over so that the blue is on the top. And then we have this little red and black piece that is hidden underneath here for some reason. Okay. Get this plugged in. There's only one direction it will go. So if it doesn't feel like it fits, you need to flip it around. And then we have our last one here, again with the blue tab facing towards the top, or upper end, I should say. Push that all the way in. And you're going to want to make sure that this cable doesn't get stuck anywhere than it shouldn't be, because you don't want to cut that thing as we're putting it together. So again, I don't love the way they did this. If you look at the original, you'll see it goes up and then over to the side, and I think we're just going to go ahead and bend ours the same way. So I'm going to unplug this for a second. Make sure that we get this underneath there, underneath this little tab. That will keep us out of trouble. Tricky. This is a tricky one. Alright, get that up inside there. Tweezers. I want this to be somewhat straight. Yeah, I don't like the way they crimped that. Okay, there we go. So I finally got it to go behind there. That's where we want to be. And then just take this, give it a little turn. That'll go inside. Alright. Okay, so that is connected. And we don't have a cable hanging out on the side there. That was my main concern. Get this back on. And we want to make sure that these align, of course. So make sure this is somewhat straight. And buried this little piece of tape. Not really important. But I'm going to put it on the outside since that's how we found it. Alright, I think we're just about ready. Now you want to be careful, make sure that these are actually going into the holes. And don't over tighten or you'll suck this little rubber piece down inside. Had that happen before. And getting it aligned will be fun. Oh, it's not lining up. Where are you? Oh, there we go. We're very close. If you look down inside, you can see where the screw holes are. These don't need to be super tight. Get our black screws back in. Alright, we are ready to reinstall. And before we go too far, we'll test it, make sure everything's working properly. So you can align this little hole right here with this one. And same thing right over here. This will get you lined up properly. Go ahead and push down on this tab while you insert the cable. And then when you release, you'll see that it's locked in place. Plug in our power. And let's get this thing connected. Alright, so I'm going to put the disc in. Alright, you can see it is copying the disc. And now if we hit the eject button, we have a functioning disk drive.